Hey everyone, it's Tiana from the Maniology team here with our Maniology Live. I'm so happy that you guys could be here every Tuesday, 1:30 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. You can find us here on another nail stamping journey, whether it's a tutorial, technique, or hack. We're here to discuss the details, and we're so happy you could join us. Um, First off, I want to say I'm sorry. There's a lot of construction going on outside. So please, if you hear any beeping or unwanted trucks making any noise. That's the reason why. And just wanted to welcome you all here. Of course, if you're a newbie stamper, if you're looking for inspiration, you're looking to join a community, then you've definitely come to the right place. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our Maniology lives that happen monthly. We got a lot of really good stuff, and we just enjoy you guys being here with us. So please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. And for everybody who is returning, welcome. So last week, if you're not following our YouTube posts, you should. I'm clicking into my picture here. I had asked you all, I gave you 4 options to choose which manicure you wanted me to recreate today. And got a resounding vote for number 1, which was Dragon Heart. And I'm going to show this image here. So this, oh, there we go. This is the look that we're going to be doing today. I already knew that the vote was going to go for this. I already knew this is our Dragon Heart plate. I'm going to show it to you guys in just a moment if you haven't seen it. But I feel like for many of you, you have this plate. This plate has sold out on us since we released it, literally maybe about 2 months ago. About 3 times, I wanna say. So I know that this has definitely been a fan favorite, and I just knew instantly that this was gonna be the manicure you all wanted to see. So I am more than happy to get this manicure started for you guys. I am gonna make a few tweaks because I feel like this image here, I blow it up. Don't get me wrong, I love a good cream manicure, but I feel like it needs a little bit more fire. So I am going to kind of add in a little sheen, a little fire, and we're just going to do it together. Don't worry about it. We're going to practice and see how this all turns out. I think that's about it. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the plate. I've used the plate, so maybe if it doesn't come off a little clear, you can just ignore the polish and stuff. But this is M577, and I'm so sorry. This plate is still out of stock. We will be restocking this. But if you're looking to grab it right now, like I said, this plate has been sold out at least 3 times over since we've released it. It's definitely been a fan fave. So it has some really cool backgrounds here. And also all of these really nice accent dragon designs, silhouettes that you can put in. So I'm really happy to do this manicure today. I'm actually excited to see how my concept is going to come out. So I'm going to make sure, I'll just leave the plate here. Let me pull up the manicure so I can kind of follow. Oh, I think I just remembered something that I don't have right now. Want to make sure that I had, because we're going to do some really light, really light reverse stamping today. So I need to make sure I need to have one of my detail brushes. The polishes I'm going to use today, I have 4 different colors that I thought would be pretty applicable. This is going to be the doozy today. This is not a part of the original manicure, but I wanted to add this color in and kind of add a little more fire to this. But before we get started, we got straight up black and bam white. And here I have terracotta rose, and this is sandbar, which is a beautiful sheen stamping polish. And I'm still on the fence about this. But anyway, we're going to run with it. And I also made sure to have several stampers here just because you know how we do. I have some of my makeup wedges. Yes, they're used, but we don't throw any of these away. We're just going to go ahead and reuse them. And let me get my area started. Now, for any of you who's like, oh my gosh, what is this Lotus mat? I realize that this is the first time I'm using the new Lotus mat. And if you haven't seen it, you guys got to go check it out on the website. We do have the original Lotus mat available, but this one is so cute. It is so cute. It has so many different accents on here. You can still test out and swatch out different polish colors, different designs, still make decals. Got the different rounded shapes here. We have the measurements here. Yeah, I can't do this mat any justice. So definitely go check it out on the website. If you haven't seen, if you're just wondering like, oh, what is that new mat? And because it's new, I don't want to get it all messed up. So we're going to go ahead and lay our napkin down. How are you guys doing today? I'm so happy you guys can be here. I don't know, this Tuesday, I'm feeling a little like a bunch of nerves. I don't know about you guys. So if it seems like my brain is elsewhere, forgive me. And let's see if we can try and stick it out together. Just thinking about so many things, I guess. Okay, where is my image here? You know, I feel like when you look at this manicure on the website, it looks like there's so many things going on, but it's probably not as horrendous as I'm thinking about it in my head. So we'll just go ahead and make a start. If you're wondering why I'm cutting this, it's because this is all dry and that's trash. So now we have a brand new wedge. And I'm going to go in, we're going to just take this left to right. So the first image looks like it's a gradient. So I'm going to go in with my BAM white and my terracotta rose. We're just going to do a half-half, like a horizontal gradient here. And again, it's okay if the colors kind of bleed into each other. You know what I just realized I don't have is my sticky stamper station. I have to get that taken care of in just a moment. So yeah, go ahead and overlap those colors. And just got my sticky stamper station, so I'm gonna use the back of the paper here and blot colors and go in. This camera is good, but sometimes it's very finicky about what it wants to focus on. So have to make something my focal point, which should be the nail, right? So there you go. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this particular method and stuff, I mean, there's so many ways that you can do a gradient. I really prefer the wedge method. Here, it just comes off really nicely blended. And honestly, I could go in with another a layer if I wanted to, but not only that, this is the best part. When you use the wedge, it's dry. There is nothing on my finger. So getting on to the next steps of life or nail art rather is so nice, so simple, and so easy. So we'll just leave that on the side. There is another nail that needs the same technique, which looks like would be kind of like the pinky. Sorry, I'm just kind of analyzing this manicure look and I'm like, that's a lot of art for the pinky there. I don't think I'm going to be able to actually stamp on. You know what? That's okay. We'll do a revised version. No worries. Because that's what you do when you do nail art, right? Not everybody has the same size nails. We make it work. So we're going to do a revised version. So we're going to do the gradient again. This time we're going to be doing it for the pinky. And again, doing that kind of half C blend there. And blend that out to the best of our ability. And that's what we got so far. We also have kind of like a aura nail going on here. And it looks like the middle finger is colored in white. So again, since I have all of these wedges, I'm going to do the quickest method possible. This is really simple. I'm not doing a gradient, but what I'm going to do is stipple on the white to the middle finger. Super, super simple. And so it dries really quickly. Oops. Tricky thing about using big fingerprint now. And like I said, that is from me pushing in. Here, I'll use my other finger so you can see. Dry. I love this technique. Love, love, love. So for the ring and pointer finger, we're going to do a halo-like effect where the terracotta rose is going to be in the center. Actually, you know what? Because these are smaller esque nails, got my other wedge here. We're going to put terracotta in the center here. And then we're going to put white around that terracotta color to kind of make a rounded halo effect. And don't worry if the colors overlap each other. You kind of want that to happen so the colors blend. And get that terracotta in the center. Feel like I'm missing some white there. And let's do this again. Go around the oval shape that you created with the terracotta. Don't worry about going over. Doesn't have to be perfect. Blot and blend. I feel like I should trademark that, blot and blend. And just because this is a little damp, I'm gonna go over this again and get more of that white polish that I was kind of missing. Okay. So let me go ahead and show you what we have so far. That's what we got as our base. I know it doesn't look like much, but we still got a ways to go with our stamping. Now I think maybe I'm gonna do this gradient one more time on the pinky because I feel like I'm missing some of that terracotta. I must have missed that when I was blending there. So I'm gonna just do that again really quick. There, great. Since I have some excess, I'm just gonna go ahead with the thumb portion and just stipple some on there too. Because why waste, right? My throat is getting a little dry. I'm gonna take a swig of my coffee. So here's what we got so far. Now, this is the part where I wanted to get a little creative. And like I said, we're going to run with it. Don't think about it too much, T. So if I start thinking about it, I'm going to second guess myself. I'm going to add in the sandbar over this, but I'm going to use my stippling method over it. This is a very sheer, if you can believe it, this is a stamping polish. It looks great over dark colors. It stamps wonderfully over dark colors, but you see how it has those high shine? I want to get the gold and like that fieriness in this sandbar color. It just looks so perfect for dragon art. And like I said, I'm not going to second guess myself. So let's go ahead and continue using this method. Now I could just paint it on, but I don't want the liquid. I want more of the shimmer that's in here. So what the wedge is going to do is suck up the liquid and leave me with the glitters. That's what I want. Okay. I'm so glad that I didn't second guess myself. Can you see? I have to move it around so you can kind of see what that looks like. And if you can compare, that's what a flat, like matte or cream base would have looked like, but it just adds in like this fieriness. Once we put on the top coat, it's gonna look gorge. I can already tell. If I wanted to be a little greedy, which I think I might do another layer of this just because why not? Because dragons have, in my head, like a beautiful fieriness to them. Like their scales should just be flashy and beautiful. I actually was sitting on another idea with dark blue too. And I figured I did promise that I was going to showcase the original Manicure. So see what you guys think. And there you go. I love the way that turned out. So I'm just going to continue this technique over all of the other nails. just to give it that kind of fiery sheen that I'm looking for. So all I'm doing right here is just waiting. You can see all that liquid just kind of pooling and sitting on the top. Trying to let the sponge absorb that and leave just the sparkles that are sitting at the top. So that's the only part that really comes off on my nails. And if you're doing it on yourself, on your nails. Now for the white, I think you'll be able to tell just a little bit. It gives it a little hint of pink, which I think works perfectly well because we do have the kind of dusty pink from the terracotta rose. So I'm not concerned that it's not a white. I think too, if you wanted to use a soft pink, you probably could get away with that instead of using a stark white. So I kind of like the pink essence that it adds to the manicure look. Let's go on to the next nail. Just going over here, using whatever is left on my sponge before going back in because these nails are much smaller. Alrighty. So I've got my gradients down. I also put on a sandbar, which gives it that added shine to the dragon look that we're looking for, or that I was looking for. And now we're ready for some accents. Let's go ahead and do some stamping on these two nails because it's literally the easiest. And again, when we do that stippling technique with the wedges, it's super, super dry. So we can move on already to the next part of this manicured look. We're going to be taking this design. Let me make sure that my stamper is good to go. I'm going in with the BAM white. Beautiful pickup. And let's get those scales and details. Beautiful. And you know what I always say about designs that have lines, a lot of line work? Do not just pop off the design instantly. You want to make sure you push in the polish as best as possible to avoid missing any of those pieces. So I'm going to show this technique again. Scrape. up. Beautiful pickup. We're going to go in. So you see, center those scales down. So I'm lightly just pressing it into like the edges like this and come off. You don't want those flyaways coming off of your manicure. You also don't want it kicking back onto the design. What I can do is go ahead and melt those pieces off with acetone. That's what you would do when you're doing this to your own nail as well. But any of those flyaways, you want to make sure that they don't fly back onto the nail. So this is the reason why I'm saying do not just pop on the design and get it off just like that and off, because that kind of adds, I guess, like air pressure to put the polish. It could land back on top of your nail. You want a clean stamp, so you want to make sure you just kind of lightly press. Not any harder, but just kind of lightly moving it around. Try it for yourself. Let me know in the comments if that works. It's always been a really good technique to do when you're doing designs with a lot of line work, a lot of details. So there you go. We already got 2 designs down. Now, for the next design, we are going to use, looks like, I know definitely this one, and oh, we're going to use these. We're going to use all 3. Okay. Okay, let's go in with brown white. I know it could look kind of challenging too, which is, I guess, the reason why I'm on this side of the camera deconstructing it for you. But I have to deconstruct the image in my mind. Look how beautiful that pickup is. So we're going to go ahead and stamp this design onto nail. Even designs like this, I know it's not straight lines, but there's just a lot of detail work. Press, press. There you go. Next design, we are going to use the terracotta rose. And we're going to use this design here. See, it doesn't take much. You don't need thousands and thousands of different polishes in order to get a really eye-catching design. Simple sometimes is always best. I don't like that pickup. I'm going to do it over again. But going through the steps and adding different accents, that's where it can get really interesting. It's not, if you can make all the colors work, then that's great. But sometimes, I feel like sometimes people's heads don't work or think that way, So I'm only using, and actually that was by my design, 4 colors. We didn't even have to include the 4th color. That was just me being extra. But we could have done this in 3. Okay, better. So we're going to go ahead and stamp this swirl design. Let me center this. So it looks like a vortex. And for the last image, which is going to be on the pinky, we're going to do this design. Let me get it on there. You can see it better. this design. I might have to kind of shift it a little down because this is quite a big design for a pinky. Again, we'll make the edits as we go. And I know maybe some of you might be asking, well, Maniology has a shrinking stamper. Why don't you use the shrinking stamper for this? It's because even though we have the shrinking stamper, I don't want to edit the details. I want the details to still be fine. When you have a tendency to shrink down the imaging, some of the imaging gets a little thicker, and I don't want that to be the case. So we just have to kind of shift things around, which is fine. And let me just kind of give you a lay of the land. That's what it looks like so far. We're on our way. I like how that's coming out. Okay, let me move that on the side. We're going to go ahead and pick up our image. This one, I'm going to have to do some reverse stamping. So let me go pick it up so it can dry. Now we're coming in with our straight up black stamping polish. And we're going to pick up this image here. Okay. And so that's what we've got. And for this, I'm actually going to be extra again, if you can imagine that. And it's just because I want the moon to there's a crescent moon in here. And I was going to use white, but I'm going to use frozen instead, which is this kind of silvery white. I know, shoot me. I just said about being not extra, and then here I am adding a whole new color. Could I have done it in white? Absolutely. But y'all wouldn't be a part of my community if I didn't. So I'm just going to roll with it. Roll with it. It's a lot of fine work here. And I'm noticing there's actually a few bits that I should probably color in black before. Just because my stamp pickup didn't quite pick up those areas nicely, but that's okay. I can edit the design, make it fit what I need it to. Just take your time. Don't rush. If you find that you need more wet polish, because when you're doing reverse stamping, wet polish is always best, then do that. This is what I got so far. Ooh, I think that was a good idea. What do you guys think? Going with the sheen. I think that's going to look perfect over the background. Yeah. I don't think that was a bad call. Oh my gosh, I miss having an acetone pump. I don't have an acetone pump. Mine hasn't been working for a while. So I have to go straight from the bottle. So annoying. Actually, hello, duh. I was having a moment. Hello, I have this. Sometimes it'd be hard like that. I just need a little. Oh, that's way too much. But it's okay. We'll make it work. At least now I have that for my reverse stamping. Because now I'm going to go in with a little bit of black. just a little, so I can kind of get into some of the areas that, like the dragon silhouette that, oh my gosh, I would be normally doing this right in front of my face, and this is rough. Okay. I want you guys to see, but I want to see too. Wow. I really underestimated how difficult this was going to be so far away from the camera. Wow. Ah, okay. Enough tea. I'll flip it over so you guys can see what it looks like. Nice. Now that I've done that, no tea. See, I was gonna chance it, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna be good and use sticky base coat to go ahead and transfer that on. Let's not get too crazy, tea. Let's just wait. Let's just wait. Because here I am. I'm trying to be too eager, and I really just shouldn't. So if you're looking at the original image, this is the part where I mentioned we're going to have to edit. So this is the image that's going to be used as the pinky here. And it has three different dragons. There's no way that I'm going to be able to fit three dragons on one nail. So we're going to edit that. I think, hmm, I think I'm just going to make one the focal point, which is just taking this one image. We're going to just do that. Ooh. Just this dragon here. Nice. Let's take off some of those images, and I'm going to very cool. If I tried to add in those two other dragons, I think it would just be too much and take away too much from the image itself from what I have here. So we're going to just go ahead and leave that alone. Now let's go ahead and jump back to this design. I'm going to go ahead and put on some sticky base coat. And that helps that when I'm doing reverse stamping, I can take my time coloring the image. And with this, it really ensures that all the little bits and pieces from this design is going to transfer over. I just have to wait about 45 seconds or so and wait for the surface to get tacky. Now, for some of you, maybe you might be wondering, like, well, what if I wait too long? It'll just dry like a regular base coat. It won't be tacky anymore. So you still have just like a small window of time before you can go ahead and transfer the design onto the nail. And that's what it's going to look like. I think we're good to go. So I'm gonna make sure this is a little further up. And there you go, no problems. All of the bits just transferred over. And just like that, we're done with this design. So now we just have the middle finger one to go. And I have, let's see, what is this design? It is, okay. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. The image is actually using this image, but inversed. I'm trying to think, how do I want to do this now? Tricky, tricky, tricky. Oh, actually, no, it's not. It's using this image. I guess I could do the inverse if I wanted to. That's okay. I'll just do it the way that the image has it. Okay. So let's do black. Pick that up. And actually, let me see if I can take off this crescent moon without damaging the image here. Because I just want the stars and the dragon, not the crescent moon. Okay. So this one is going to be kind of on the lower right-hand corner of the design. So it's going to have like a yin and yang kind of feel. So that's one. So you see how that's not centered. Now the other image is going to go at the very top, or like the top, its opposite corner. So let's go ahead and grab that. Now this one I'm going to have to do some reverse stamping with white. And let's go and take off that crescent moon. Okay, there. This one I'm gonna go with our BAM white, like a flat white. And color in your dragon. How's that looking? Good. I always get really nervous when it comes to extremely fine line designs. You know, it's always nice when the lines, the outlines are thicker. You can kind of make mistakes and go over. But if not, not only that, I'm doing this on camera too, so. Looking good, looking good. Make sure to keep your brush clean and make sure that your polish is wet when you do this. If not, when in doubt, I always put more wet polish. feel like it's been a while since I've done reverse stamping on camera. This is so relaxing, isn't it? I guess when you're not stressing out about it. And nail art shouldn't feel like stress. If it ever feels like stress, you need to walk away. Perfect. I'll bring it up in just a moment. You can see. Great. Looks great. Let's wait for that to dry a bit. Okay. And so you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. We're going to put that up there. I'm going to put just a little bit of sticky base coat onto the image, not on the whole of the nail. Let's just wait. Small images like this tend to dry really quickly too, so you don't want to just risk it and put the image right onto the nail. Sometimes you can get away with that. If you've been following me, you've seen me do it, but this is not one of those times where I'm willing to test that theory. We want to ensure that all the bits and pieces from the design comes onto the nail. So let's just be patient this time. And sniff test. Let's make sure it's not wet. We want tacky, not wet. Okay. It's still a little tacky. I'm sorry, a little wet. So let's just kind of wait it out a little. Okay, I think now we should be good. Let me try and see. Oh, right there. That looks cool. I love it. That almost kind of reminds me of like a brother, sister, dragon just swirling around in the vortex. I'm thinking, I don't know, if I had to give this manicure a name, maybe it would be like Mother of Dragons. I don't know. What do you guys think? I would have loved to see this manicure in a dark finish too. Well, I guess if any of you do it in a dark finish, definitely tag us. I am so eager to see because I'm like envisioning a silver and a really, really deep navy. That would look really pretty. So if you can believe it, this look is done. And I love this. Again, there was some deconstructing in my brain that was needed in order to, do this look, but I think it's so worth it. I love the end result. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm just going to go ahead and top coat this with our smudge free. And also let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about my little changes? Would you have preferred to see OG original, or do you like the subtle changes that I added to the look? I'm really happy with adding in the sunburst sunbeam. I already forgot. Sandbar. It was none of the above. It was sandbar. This little fiery doozy into the manicure. And just like that, the look is done. Let me go ahead and clear up space here so we can take, I was like, oh, so we can take a look, but actually the background is pretty designed. So if in order to have like a white background, it'd be kind of impossible. But let's take a look at that. What do you guys think? Subtle changes, I think, just worked out really, really well. Even the edit to this design here because of the smaller nail. Now, if you decided to kind of make the pinky your focal point and switch the nails, you could totally do that if you wanted to. But here is the straightforward dragon heart design from plate M577. We created this look with just one plate. I know it looks like so many different elements, but I love doing these manicures. We love doing these manicures for you, not only because I know many of you love to see a how-to tutorial. You guys want to know what colors we're using or what colors were inspired for the digital design that's online. But I think it really helps to spark some inspiration and get y'all going. So I'm gonna bring up, oh, excuse me, the digital here. You got the digital, and that's the design we did. Let me know. What do you guys think? Think we did pretty good? I think we did. And I feel like if you didn't want to use the terracotta rose, you could add in whatever other color you want too. I think it turned out just great. So go ahead, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Actually, in the comments, go ahead. If you had to name this manicure, what would you name it? And it can't be the name of the nail plate. Let me know if you have a really cool name for this manicure. And we'd love to hear from you. Is this a design that you would wear now that you've seen how it's done step by step? Or you're like, no, I think a lot of people are excited about this. I think a lot of you are going to be really excited. If you didn't come to the live, no worries, because this is going to go right onto your YouTube. You know that. But I feel the next time you crack open a new dragon story, because there's so many coming out, I feel like you can wear this manicure. So applicable. Dragons are always in, I feel like. But let me know in the comments what you think of this look and if it is going to be your next look. But that is going to be all for today. I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching this manicure look, and I will see you guys in the next live. You guys are in for a treat because you have a back-to-back Maniology live because we have an unboxing coming out. So stay tuned for that this week. And we'll see you in the next live. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. Bye.